Electric vehicles won't work for everyone, but for many people they can work extremely well. Especially if you don't cover too many miles, you can charge at home cheaply, or even better, you can charge at work for free. But for many people, the main roadblock in place has been the purchase price, with many manufacturers releasing premium electric vehicles over £40,000. Not only is that a high price, but they now face premium road tax as well. And that made it really tricky for people who are used to driving small petrol vehicles, which didn't cost too much money. The jump to go electric was a huge jump that didn't make financial sense. But Dacia are on a mission to change that. They've released the Dacia Spring. It's a small, compact, fully electric vehicle with a starting price of £15,000. Hi guys, my name's Tish and welcome back to the John Banks Review YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll tell you all the details that you need to know about the Dacia Spring, comparing it to the cost to run of a petrol vehicle to show you how it can make a lot of financial sense. So if that sounds good, then please keep watching. And if you do like new car reviews and car content, you're in the right place. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you wanted to come and take a look at a Dacia Spring, or you wanted to take one for a test drive for yourself, then you can do that at our Dacia Cambridge or Ipswich. I'll pop all their details in the description box down below. Any further questions or queries that I haven't covered, then make sure to pop them down below and I will answer them in the comments. So firstly, let's start by telling you the key details of the Dacia Spring. All versions of the Dacia Spring have a 25 kilowatt-hour usable capacity battery, and that gets you 140 miles of electric range, which may not sound like a huge amount, but according to studies done, it's the perfect amount for the average UK driver to drive for a whole week without having to charge. You can choose between a 44 brake horsepower or 64 brake horsepower electric motor. The official 0 to 62 mile per hour time for the less powerful model is 19.1 seconds, which is fine for inner city driving, and you'll actually find it surprisingly zippy at lower speeds. But for more mixed driving with motorways, it may be better to step up to the 64 brake horsepower model. The official 0 to 62 mile per hour time for this is 13.7 seconds, which still doesn't sound particularly rapid, but acceleration is impressive, up to about 40 miles per hour, and only then does it then start to trail off slightly. You'll still have no problems joining dual carriageways and overtaking traffic. But small batteries can have their benefits. One of their benefits is efficiency. Because the Dacia Spring's batteries are so light, it's super efficient. It weighs under 1 tonne, and that means around town you can see a maximum of up to 10 miles per kilowatt hour, or on a mixed run like I've been doing, you can see above 5 miles per kilowatt hour, which is really impressive and much better than a lot of its rivals. The second is charging. You see, it may only be able to accept up to 30 kilowatts of DC charge, which is behind its rivals, but that's still quick enough to get it from 20 to 80% in around 40 minutes. Now, if you've got an AC charger like I have here, if you've got a 7 kilowatt charger, it's going to take you just 4.5 hours to go from 0 to 100% battery. Or you can even charge it from a 3-pin, and that will take you between 8 hours and 11 hours depending on how much power you can draw from it, which I think is really impressive and could be a good option for a lot of people. Now, cost-wise, let's compare that to fueling a petrol car. Of course, it's all dependent on having your own home charger, as I mentioned at the beginning, to get the cheapest rates, as well as utilising off-peak charging times. However, the Spring with its 26.8 kilowatt-hour battery could cost as little as £1.88 for those 140 miles on an Octopus Intelligent Go tariff, at the cost of 7p per kilowatt-hour. Now, based on the average cost of petrol in the UK being around £1.60 per litre, it would cost you around £30.70 to drive a small petrol car up to 1400cc with the average MPG of over 46 miles per gallon over 140 miles. A significant saving. As well as the uplift in range and power, the interior also gets an upgrade on the extreme trim level, which I think is worth stepping up to. You get these wonderful seats which feature a leather effect around the outside, where you have contrasting black at the bottom and then you have this dark green on top. It looks very good matched together with the green paintwork. You also get bronze stitching around the outside, and down the centre you get this dappled fabric. These feel very good quality. You also get a multifunctional steering wheel with lots of functions. On the left hand side you get cruise control. On the right hand side this controls your digital dashboard. And behind you'll find your controls for the volume and changing your tracks or your radio station. You also get an upgraded infotainment system if you go for this extreme trim level, and this is a really good system. It's a nice size, it's easily laid out, and it's really simple to find some functions, including a function where you can check your vehicle driving history and see whether you can make improvements on your efficiency. I managed to get 5.2 miles per kilowatt hour on my way over here, over 40 miles, so I'm really impressed. But according to the Dacia, I only got 73 out of 100 on my eco score, so maybe there's some improvements to be had. You have really easy functions down the right hand side to control where you move around the touchscreen. There's no physical controls for this touchscreen underneath, but you will find a few on top, which include your volume and to be able to turn the screen off. Underneath you find your climate control functions, which are really simple and easily laid out. You have physical dials for turning up your fan speed and also your temperature. But then you also have some shortcut buttons to put you in eco mode, and also here is where you'll find where you can put your windows down. It's all very simply laid out and it feels very spacious and functional. There's also plenty of storage options. You have a storage section here with a very small glove box underneath. But as you have this large section, it's not really needed. You also find a tray underneath and Dacia's U-clip system. So just here you'll see this little square, and this is for a Dacia U-clip device. It means that you can completely transform different parts of the cabin. For instance here, I can put an extra cup holder, or I could also add in a phone holder, which will be able to hold my devices when I'm using Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. In the centre, you'll also find a small gear selector, which is very simple to use, and a physical handbrake as well. It feels very spacious in the front of the cabin, but what about in the rear? Well, the Spring's compact size means despite it being a four-seater, it is pretty small in the back, which is good for emergencies if you need to carry people occasionally, and I think children would be perfectly fine back here. This seat is set up in my driving position, and as you can see, my knees are just brushing the backs of the seats. Headroom, however, is pretty good. You do also have some storage pockets on the backs of the seats, and you get two ISOFIX fitments in the rear here. But it doesn't go above and beyond in terms of amenities for rear seat passengers. I haven't got a cup holder and I haven't got any charging facilities. But I think if you're only going to use the rear seats occasionally, it's not too bad. So what about that boot space? You know what? This is actually where it's surprisingly large for its size. Inside the boot of the Dacia Spring, you get 300 litres of storage. Now that's 90 litres more than the Mini Hatch Electric, and it's also the same size as the much bigger, almost SUV-sized Mini Aceman. It's a really surprising storage space. It's not perfect in every single way, as there is still a bit of a load lip, so loading heavy items in can be a bit tricky, but I think it's extremely good for this class of car. But that's not all. Due to the lack of engine in the front of the Dacia Spring, they've actually kept the available space free, and they offer the option to purchase a storage device from the brand directly, turning it into a frunk. The Spring offers a lively and enjoyable driving experience, thanks in part to its well-considered suspension setup, featuring McPherson struts at the front and a torsion beam at the rear. The suspension strikes a perfect balance between comfort and agility. Its lightweight design enhances manoeuvrability, making it fun to weave through traffic and navigate tight spaces, and this is aided by its impressive 9.6 metre turning circle. The raised stance is particularly beneficial for tackling speed bumps, while the comfortable spongy seats definitely help to absorb some of the impacts from the road, ensuring a pleasant ride. Although the suspension may occasionally feel a bit bouncy, it effectively manages body movements without the need for excessive stiffness. The narrow body design adds for a unique driving feel, allowing for an engaging experience on road. Although it may not excel in high-speed cornering, the Spring's handling is light and responsive, and that makes it super easy to drive. Let's face it, if you want a large car with lots of space and a premium interior and exterior, then there's loads to choose from on the market. But if you want a compact, affordable electric car, well, then the Dacia Spring definitely fills that gap. For people that don't need to go too far, the Dacia Spring can be a really affordable option. Not only does it have a low price tag, but they also offer 0% finance across 4 years, which can make owning the Dacia Spring a really good option. But let me know, what do you think of the Dacia Spring? Let me know all of your thoughts down below. I really hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you had any further questions or queries, or wanted to book in for your very own test drive of the Dacia Spring, then you can do that by clicking the link down below and chat to one of our sales team at either Cambridge or Ipswich Dacia. Until next time guys, see you later.